Speak real quick.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
My bro texted me, I'm picking up the phone. The hoe texted me, I left that shit alone. I get a bag and dip, then I'm heading home. I find your deepest fears with this Google Chrome. You know it's AJD, but that's me. David Red Hot V, they all wanna autograph. Tell them get off me, bitch. On my way back, now she pleasing me. That's crazy, cause that's really how it be. Don't text my phone, it's on D&D. I'll give you a tag, no DMV. Did what I want and would walk free. No, I can't even do that shit.
2, 1. Okay. Welcome to a Halloween special. To open this episode, I don't know what I'm gonna name this episode. Let's begin with. I don't know if I'm going with Halloween special or like spooky stories.
Spooky.
No.
Huh?
Spooky Dookies.
No. Well, today
Spooky stories. I like spooky stories.
We're gonna
Spooky stories in the dark. Turn it off.
turn that shit off.
Spooky stories in the dark.
How do we do that? Do you want me to just stand up and just unscrew the
So we're gonna start this episode off with telling our own personal like childhood stories, and then we're going to I don't know, continue with other scary stories.
Yeah.
Scary or
mine's really not that scary, but yeah.
Messed up stories.
Yeah.
To get you guys in the spirit for Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays.
Halloween
Facts.
is my favorite.
It's grown on me.
holiday.
Bro, it has grown on me growing up.
It's grown on me so much.
Not even like as a kid, don't get me wrong, like I love trick-or-treating and going out and all that. But like there's just something about the spirit of Halloween and the time of year that it's in, the weather,
Hoodie season.
the
Oh,
mood
man.
of it. Like I can just comfortably now as a 19-year-old chill in a hoodie and shorts on Halloween night and just have the time of my
And
life.
just hang out.
And just literally be so
Just
comfortable.
hang out, bro.
And there's just something about like everything about like Halloween is just I love it. It's my favorite.
What is
holiday.
that? Do you wanna let's start off with you. What is your childhood? Ooh.
Okay, are you wanting like more of like a scarier?
Here's your childhood.
What if that's the name of the episode? Of just literally Halloween. Ooh.
Let's look at the camera and go 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. You gotta do it.
Nah.
Ah, okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Are you guys wanting like a scarier story or just like something that I did that creeped out other people?
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. However, you see
Okay.
fit, bro.
I'll follow Anthony then of like something that I did that creeped out other people. So I had an imaginary friend as a kid.
Name?
Name was Bika. Something
so unique.
very,
I've never
very
heard that.
unique,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it wasn't like a John or a
Did he?
Toby.
I never had an imaginary friend. Did he
Toby.
look a certain way to you?
I don't remember this at all. Like I don't remember anything. I don't think that. So it was a girl. I don't think that she was ever in person with me because anytime I would ever communicate with her, I'd be on the phone. And so, and as a kid, I never went back to my room. Never. I was always like right by my mom's side of like either in the living room. If she was back in her room, I was back in her room. No matter what it was. Yeah.
Chilling out with your mom.
Like if I got sent back to my room, I was back there for 10 minutes before I got out, and I was like, "Mom, I'm bored." And she was like, "Fine, whatever, just be quiet, sit on the chair." So I would grab a home phone, like a landline from somewhere in the house, and just walk back to my room without telling anybody, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. And I would sit on my bed facing the corner and just repeatedly say Bika into the phone.
Okay.
Like over
Bika?
and over. Literally.
Bika?
Literally. Like my sisters would come into my room.
How old?
I was like 4 or 5.
Bika.
Literally. Like I would just be sitting in the corner with the phone like
Bika.
like both hands on the phone, like on my ear, and was just like Bika. Bika, and my sisters told my mom, and then my mom found out about it, and they just let it like go.
Mom, David's
And so
talking to
eventually,
Bika.
I just eventually stopped, and they didn't tell me about it until I was like 13. And they were like, "Do you remember your imaginary friend Bika?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is Bika?"
Bika, bro.
But yeah, that's like, and
Bika.
it like creeped the shit out of both of my sisters and my mom, because I want to say like, toward the end of whenever I was doing it was whenever like Paranormal Activity and all that shit started coming out. Whenever the kids had the imaginary friends that were the demons that would like possess the house and terrify everybody. So it terrified the fuck out of both of my sisters specifically, because they were still like, I don't know, if I was like 5, my middle sister was 9, oldest sister was 11. So like right at the age where you still like full-fledged believe that the shit that you see on TV is real.
Yeah, for sure.
And like movies are happening as you're watching them. So they were like, well, fuck, we're dead. Some demon named Bika is going to come in here and just
Moss on us.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something that I did as a kid that like terrified the rest of my family. Was my imaginary friend Bika.
Bika. Oh, that's so cool.
And never held a conversation. Just literally repeatedly calling out to her.
Bro, sounded like a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bika.
You're so close to saying Pika.
Yeah. What about you? What's your?
Okay, so I don't know how old I was. I might have to get some resources from my mom. And I was saying like 5. And I had this imaginary friend named Roger. And I don't remember him. It's like the same shit that happened with you. I don't remember it, but they told me when I was like 15. And so I used to play Hot Wheels on top of the refrigerator with Roger in the middle of the night.
On top
bro.
of the refrigerator.
On
Hold on.
top of the
How the fuck did you get
refrigerator.
up there, bro? Roger picked you up.
Holy shit! If my
my
son was doing
God.
that shit,
If I just saw my son be like, Roger, I would lose my what? I'd move out.
imagine your dad watching TV. Roger, on top of the refrigerator. What? What the fuck? Pause the Family Feud real quick.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on over there?
I'm not even talking. I'm leaving my house. I'm peeking around the corner and
What's your
leaving.
mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, get your fucking child.
Stephanie,
your
what
kid
the-
right
who
now.
the fuck is Roger? Who the fuck is Roger, and why does he have a better relationship with my kid? than me?
Why is Roger touching my child?
So me and him would play Hot Wheels on top of the motherfucking refrigerator.
Right.
And then I've heard other things that I would tell him to get out when I was pissed off at him. I would scream, get out, Roger, and throw Hot Wheels at the back door.
But knowing Anthony, he was like 4, so he came out. I was like, "Get out, Roger!"
Hot Wheels.
Just
Throwing them
being
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
And they said not every night, but damn near every night, like around midnight. You know the sound of a ball rolling, like a baseball rolling on hardwood. You know
Type
that
of sound?
that noise.
Yeah.
They said you'd hear that in the attic.
No way.
I swear to God.
Just a ball, just.
Just rolling a little bit back and forth.
And did you live on some sort back and forth? There's no explanation for that. Think about it. You know?
Yeah.
Why would the ball be going back and forth?
Dude.
Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no explanation
Yeah.
for that. Unless something.
Not my boy Roger.
Yeah. Unless.
Dang it.
You get up. Roger. You know what, y'all? I'm dipping. Fuck y'all. End this recording session.
Nah, just Roger throws him over his shoulder and he just bye y'all.
Before recording this episode, I told my parents about it, and they reminded me about how I'd go up to their room when we lived at my grandma's house, I guess. I'd go up to their room, and I'd knock, and I'd ask to go play basketball with my friend. Don't know his name, but I just asked to go play basketball. And I hold a basketball at like 3 a.m. At 3 a.m. And my dad jokes around. He says that like he saw the basketball going up and like getting bounced one time, like out, because the way the house is set up is like front door right above his patio, and then out here is like just like a concrete like
Slab.
like driveway, you know, fenced off, and then sidewalk. And he said he went to the patio like 5 a.m. morning before work, and because he thought he heard something, and lo and behold, it's this ball just bouncing. And the thing is, the driveway's on the slant, so it's like bouncing away, like out of his view type shit. And he goes, I could have peeked and could have looked, and if he would have peeked, it would have been just a staircase made out of concrete that's just all ragged and fucked up from all these years of being there.
Yeah.
And it just leads to the dark driveway. And down there is this other house that is rented out now, but back then it wasn't. So no one lived in that house. It was mainly a storage unit for my grandparents. And he said that next night, when I asked to play basketball, he said that I sounded sad about it, like, I don't know, like held back. He said but he was joking around. He was probably drunk. But yeah, that's my scary story. It's just basketball, and I hate basketball to this day. I hate playing it, but I will play it.
No, he doesn't.
I don't hate it. But it's a 2-1. Okay, David, hit us off.
So this is like our own personal scary stories that we like not researched, but like researched. So this one was a YouTube video that I saw from. So I got introduced to this guy on TikTok. His name is Mr. Ballin. Do you guys remember him?
Yeah.
Told he's a fantastic storyteller. Was
Great
on TikTok,
storyteller.
told like great stories.
In a minute.
So this one is about a box. It's about a demonic box. So this guy named Kevin, he owns this like antique shop, and there's 2 floors to it. So the top floor is where they sell everything, and the bottom floor, it's a much bigger room, but it's for like storage, where they keep all the stuff until they price it, and then they bring it up to the top floor. So he owns this like antique shop, and he only has 1 female employee. That's the only employee that he has. And one day he goes out to this state fair, so that way he can look around, get some new stuff for the antique shop. And he goes out and he gets to the state fair, and the lady that the house is at, she had just recently died.
Okay.
So they're selling all of her belongings, and they have everything kind of bundled together in lots. So the lot that he ends up bidding on is lot 29, because he sees a couple things in that lot that he thinks that he can turn around and sell. He sees a couple tools that he was like, these are cool, turn around and sell these.
He flip-flopping,
Yeah.
bro. He's switching.
But then he sees this box.
What does it look like?
I'll get into that in a second. So he sees this box, and the box like really kind of draws him toward it, because it looks like a very interesting box. It's just it's like 2 like opening cabinet doors and then a drawer down below, but it's got a padlock on it. So he bids on the lot, he wins the bid, and he gets it.
How much was the bid?
They didn't say in the story. All that they say is just that he paid for, or like he put a bid in, he won it, he's loading everything into his car. He's loading everything into his car, and as he's leaving, somebody comes up to him and goes, I see you went with the, I forget the name of the box, but it's a specific...
Divic box.
Divic box, yes. They say, I see you went with the Divic box. And he gets very intrigued at that point, because a Divic is something that as a kid he was very supposed to stay away from. It's not satanic, but a demonic presence.
I've heard about Divic boxes. I've tried to buy one at one point.
That you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
But a Divic and demons and all of that, in this man's culture, he was supposed to stay very far away from. And his mom would always warn him about oh, stop doing that, or the Divics are gonna get you. So as soon as he heard that term, he was like, oh shit. So then he asked the girl about the padlock. And she goes, well, I don't know. My grandma, which was the woman that just died, was hers. The Divic box was hers. She said, well, I don't know. All we know is just that we would ask her about it, and she would just go to us and then not say anything else. And we don't know why. And so I was very confused at that point. So yeah, I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Grandma, can I touch the box?
And so, yo, guys, that's your box.
Okay, whoa, stop, please.
But then, so he loads it all up. He brings it back to the antique shop, and he brings it down to the bottom floor where they keep all the storage and everything. He puts it on the desk, and he doesn't want to damage the box, but he wants to get inside of it because he wants to know if there's things inside that he can also sell.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it's literally just labeled at the lot mystery box.
Oh yeah, of course you.
So
open
yeah,
it.
he
You
wants to open it
that
to
shit.
see if
Yeah.
he can turn around and sell some stuff. So he doesn't want to break the box because he wants to sell it. So he takes a screwdriver and pries it behind the lock until it pops open. So the Divic box, how it works is whenever the top two cabinet drawers open, the bottom drawer also slides open. Because in the middle of the top compartment is this really intricate mechanical device that pushes the bottom drawer out. So he looks at the bottom drawer and he just sees a bunch of an old wine chalice, a couple locks of hair, just some bullshit.
A couple locks of hair?
Yeah. And he just sees some bullshit and he was like, this is just an old lady's, memorabilia, valuables, but it's not valuable to me.
Little,
whatever.
Did it look like a little shrine?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a little kind of tombstone shrine.
Some
with,
shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, you know what, whatever, cool. Leaves it in the bottom floor. Couple days later, nothing really happens. Through a couple of days. He then leaves one morning because he's gonna go to another garage sale, another estate fair to see if he can buy some more things. The girl that is working for him is like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go downstairs and stay at the store, bring some things up and everything. So she goes down to the basement where all of the stuff is. And so the way that they painted the picture of this basement is very dark, not dingy, but classic horror movie-esque basement.
Yeah.
Where it's very, very
Cobwebs.
faint lighting.
Yeah.
The top lights, only one or two of them work.
You gotta click them.
Well, they're long tube fluorescent lights.
What?
So, those long tube lights. They're those.
Like the type of shit you see in a weed factory.
Yeah. So the way that they described it was they were a pain in the ass to replace. So they would wait until there was only 1, 2, 3 left on before they were okay, we got to replace all these. So whenever she went down that day, there was only 2 that were on at this point. So it was very, very dark down there.
Right.
So she goes down there. She's been down in this basement a lot. She's worked there for a long time. She knows exactly where, this is a second home to her essentially. So she's down there, she's picking stuff up, she's looking at things that she's gonna bring up to sell. And she just can't shake this feeling that somebody's watching her.
Okay.
So she starts to get super sussed out. And so she is kind of she's fucking tripping at this point.
Yeah.
Then the phone rings from across the room. They had a little landline down in the basement. So that kind of snaps her back into reality, whatever. She walks back over to the phone, answers it's one of her friends. She's gonna stop by the antique shop. Cool, blah, blah. Then, while she's on the phone with her friend, you know the sound of a broom smacking on a concrete floor?
Yeah.
Of a broom laid up against a wall, and it's just
And it bounces.
And it smacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and bounces and
That's what
shakes
she
and
hears across the room. So then she's like, hold on, let me call you back to her friend. Hangs up. She starts kind of investigating the situation. Because there's only one way in, one way out to this basement. Nobody came in behind her. The door was locked after Kevin, the guy who owned it, had left. There was no way anybody could be in.
Right.
So she's walking through and everything, and she can't, she just doesn't understand what's going on at this point. So then she hears a massive crash from the opposite side of her, kind of by the phone where she was. So now she's scared shitless. She's like, whatever, I'm done. So she tries booking it out. And then a chair flies from one of the, in between one of the shelves out to the middle where she's running to, block her way out. So she ends up hurdling this chair and runs up the stairs, right? Yeah, while I'm listening to this, I was like, holy fuck, this is, track star type shit. She hurdles the chair, gets up the stairs, just to her fucking horror, of the door that she came through, there was another metal door attached to it that can only be locked from the outside.
Right.
That door is now shut and locked. So she is locked down there she thinks that there's somebody down there with her.
Yeah. Someone
That'd be
fucking with her.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Just someone fucking with her, bro. Turning off lights and shit,
Yeah.
throwing shit at her, and she just can't see.
And this whole time, like the tube lights from the ceiling are falling down and breaking and crashing.
Yeah.
So she's like really starting to panic at this point. So she calls Kevin. Kevin's only a block away. He gets back and goes downstairs, and like nothing's wrong with the first floor, but in the basement she's just sitting at the desk like emotionless. And he's like, what the fuck happened? She was like, I honestly don't know how to describe it to you. He looks around, doesn't see anybody, so he blames her. And he goes, did you do this? She said, fuck you, and left. She quit that same day.
I would have immediately been like, yeah, it was her. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So then
Tried
the
her for
guy,
all things.
Kevin, the guy that
Bought it. Yeah.
brought it home and was going to give it to his mom as a birthday gift. So his mom rips open the packaging and sees the box. Before he has time to explain what it is, he gets a phone call. He leaves the room and his mom opens it and is like pushed backwards and has to sit down because of this insane feeling of dread as soon as she opens it. And Kevin's still on the phone as he's watching his mom go into a massive stroke.
From a fucking box?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Because of the box. And so Kevin still doesn't really understand like what's going on at this point. But his mom is like paralyzed because of the stroke, like panning her eyes over to the box and back at Kevin. Because that's the only body part she can move. So Kevin eventually figures it out. He's like, fuck this, I'm selling this. He puts it out on the floor, and instantaneously this young couple comes by and buys it. 2 days later, he has a knock at his antique shop, and it's put back in there with a note on it that says this has a very strong, like, malevolent presence to it.
Very strong fucking vibe to this box.
So now Kevin's like fucking panicking.
Yeah.
Because he understands like, okay, two strangers just confirmed my prior fears. All right, we're back.
Sorry about that.
So, two strangers essentially just confirmed his fear.
Yeah, and which is crazy because if you ever see a box or something like that, and I don't know, it's like your primal instinct
Is to open it
kicks
and
in.
find what's inside.
But
Yeah.
but I'm saying towards something dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah.
has that ever happened to you?
I
I get like it's not personally not to me, but like I think I could kind of understand what they're saying as like they see something that I don't know they
Brings
truly
the presence?
Yeah, like they truly feel like, oh my god, like this shit
This shit is like,
this shit brings some pressure on me
Yeah.
whenever I walk past it. This isn't
It's unsettling.
Yeah, this cabinet, like out of everything in this store right now, this cabinet is making me feel uncomfortable. But continue.
I've never felt that way.
Yeah, me neither. I want to go out seeking for things like that.
Haunted shit.
Yeah.
So there's
That'd be
a
sick.
couple guys later in the story that are exactly like you. So okay, I'm gonna speed through the like second half of this story. If you want to like truly get in depth, go to Mr. Ballin's YouTube channel and look up "This Box Will Kill You"
Or TikTok.
or TikTok, either one. Great storyteller. So
Absolutely.
the guy Kevin that has the box then just says "fuck it" and puts it on eBay, and this guy buys it like instantly. And so he gets it and everything, and so some like serious demonic shit starts happening. He's like, fuck it. So he puts it on eBay, he sells it to these two college kids that buy it because they like are really into that like demonic
Yeah.
shit.
I
and all
literally
that.
almost bought one
And
last year.
one kid has a blog about it.
We have a podcast.
And so yeah.
Haunted podcast, bro.
So they buy it, and so they open it, or no, they just have it on the room, and like nothing really is happening with it. And so they get like super upset about it, and they're like, whatever. But it's not until they start having parties at their house, people are spilling things on it, opening it and closing it, that shit really starts to kick up very fast.
I should
So-
get pissed off.
Imagine having teenagers fucking on your
Bruh,
on
nah,
your
like,
shrine, bro. Like
so first
what?
off, like all their technology starts fucking up. Like one of the dude's laptops is just fried.
Wow.
Their Xbox won't turn on in their house, but if they bring it over to a friend's house, works perfectly.
Yeah.
And then like the other thing that stuck with me was like anytime they wanted to like put something in the toaster, they put it down, would like instantly incinerate it.
No way.
Just like gone.
That's horrifying.
Right?
Actually, with
See,
the
but
Did they get video
guys-
evidence?
But these, I don't know. But these guys didn't like connect it with the box yet. They just like thought that this was all like inconvenient.
Which is actually
stupid
dumb
as fuck,
as
right?
hell.
Oh, my
So
toaster
dumb.
just fried
Yeah.
my
Oh,
fucking
my
toast.
toaster just literally crumbled my bread. Can't be the demonic box.
What
that we
setting is
opened.
it on? It's not plugged in.
No,
this shit ain't plugged
my
in.
Mac just got fucking.
And the thing, what doesn't make sense is they go online, they see Divic,
Demonic box and all this
Right.
other shit.
and they're like, "That I really want. I'm interested in it. Buy it." Has it in their house. Shit happens, bro. What is happening?
yeah.
What is the explanation?
So
Creepy ass box.
then, what really connected it with them
box.
was their light bulbs kept like bursting in their house, to where they like as soon as they would replace it, 2 hours later it would.
Wow, that would
Explode.
get expensive.
And
Expensive.
so they just stopped replacing light bulbs.
Or you
So
save
their
a lot of
house-
money.
So their house was always dark as shit.
This is a ghost. This is a cheap
Right?
ghost. This is a
So-
cheap ass ghost.
You bitch.
One of the guys, like, this would fucking horrify me. One of the guys started
Wait, hold
having
on. Sorry. So the house was just dark.
yes,
Just the entire fucking time.
yeah. So one of the guys like was so like enveloped in this box, I guess, that he started having permanent hallucinations of in both of his like peripheral visions would be this old lady that would just follow him around everywhere. Like no matter which way he looked, it would be in both of his eyes, just slightly out of sight of this old lady standing right here. And so he started getting super fucking paranoid about it. Until they finally said, fuck it, they sold it to another like professor in Missouri. And so this guy bought it, brought it to his work.
We gotta. Is it still in Missouri?
I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, I was gonna say we gotta go search.
They
it.
bought it, or the professor bought it, brought it to his work, was telling everybody about it, and they were all just like, like cool, whatever. Everybody in the office started getting sick. All of their computers started shutting down, and they were like, get that thing out of this fucking place. Like, it's not good. He puts it in his truck, brings it home, but just leaves it in the bed of his truck, like shut in the bed of his truck.
This truck's gonna be fried.
So that first night, he goes to bed, and the layout of the house is like as soon as you walk in, there's like a staircase over here. You go up the stairs, keep going straight, there's a bathroom, turn left is the master bedroom.
Okay.
And he lays on the bed, like furthest away from the door. And like on the foot of the bed, the far wall, there's a big ass window with like a street light right outside. So like it's always pretty lit in their room with like this like orangey yellowish glow. So he lays down in bed, and then he like it's like a sleep paralysis moment of he can't move, but he can move his eyes. So he hears this like methodic pattern footsteps up the stairs. And then there's this like definite dark figure that walks into his room. And so he can see that this is a very like solid figure by the yellow glow into the room.
Right.
So the figure walks up to the bed, walks down to the foot of the bed. Once it hits the middle of the foot of the bed, looks at him, and it's just this like old lady, which is like just like a demonic blackface old lady, like classic like what's a demonic movie that you can think of that it like zooms in on like the face of a demon.
Demonic movie.
What's like
The Grudge. There's like girlish.
nah, like it's just a demon.
Just a demon.
Yeah.
Like
Shit, horns?
like Insidious. Like when
Yeah,
when the devil is or
Yes.
devilish
Something like that.
is right behind
But
you.
but the figure had like a head
hood,
drape
a
over,
cloak.
so
Bro,
didn't
you
see
know-
it until it was at the foot of the bed.
You know what's funny about ghosts like that? Don't fucking joke me in the comments, bro. But I be up late at night doing my ghost search, bro.
Really?
And ghosts like that are sometimes the most dangerous ghosts to encounter. Some ghosts who cover their faces are covering their faces for a reason. They cover their head. They're covering their head for a reason. It's just not just so happened that they died with the hood
Well,
over their head.
So as soon as they make eye contact, this demonic figure sprints over to where his head is and looks down at him and then pushes his eyeballs in to his head.
This is a dream?
And he wakes up from this
Right.
to his wife grabbing his shoulders and shaking him. He's flipping out in his sleep.
I would have messed her
Yes,
up.
bro.
I would have messed her up, bro.
So then he tells her, or like, well, no, he doesn't tell her what happened yet. He's like, whatever, cool. Goes to sleep that night, goes
Bro,
back
just
to work.
imagine that, like, it's peaceful, not peaceful, you're just, like, fucking horrified at the foot of your bed, looks up at you, you're, like, sweating, and that shit sprints at you.
Yes, and you can't move your body. You can't move.
And then it stands over top, bro.
So
When I can't, already when I see people sprint, I'm already like, ooh.
And
Well,
so,
no,
When I see people sprint at me,
here's where it gets fucking freaky as shit. He goes into the bathroom.
sit right
He
there.
goes into his bathroom and he looks at his eyes and there's red circles around his eyes.
Damn.
And the whites of his eyes have blood in them. So they're bloodshot as fuck.
No way.
Yeah.
Bro.
So then he goes to work the next day, comes back home, and he's gonna do some kind of research with it. So he's just chilling, watching TV with his son. And his son goes, "Hey Dad, who's that?" And points behind him. The dad turns around.
Mom with the cookies.
The dad turns around and sees the same figure that pushed his eyeballs in. But this is real now. Like, this isn't like a sleep paralysis dream. None of that shit. This is real now. Like, the son saw it.
Son's confirmed. This bitch is in the living room.
This bitch is in real life
This girl's in the
now.
living room, bro.
You
Mom?
Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
So then the guy like grabs his son and his wife and they leave. He explains everything to her, and then they're like, "What the fuck?" So James is the guy that has the box like with the lady that like pushed his eyeballs in. James calls Kevin, the original owner of the box.
No way.
Yes, traces it all the way back, calls Kevin, and then they like plot on how to stop this thing. So then Kevin goes back to where he bought it from, talks to like the dead woman that he like that was hers, bought it from. She explains the whole backstory of like back before like World War II, they lived in Poland. They used to do a bunch of like seances and shit. They released this demon, but they released it into that box, waxed it shut and everything. And then she was like, "I hope you didn't open it." And he was like, "I opened it. The person I sold it to opened it. The person they sold it to opened it. The person they sold it to opened it. How the fuck do we stop
Matter
this?"
of fact, it even says mystery box on the front of it.
And she goes, "Well, you got to get a rabbi." So they get a rabbi. They get it back in the
You
box.
gotta be Jewish.
And then and since 2003, whenever they locked that box back up, they have hidden it to where nobody knows where it's at.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah. So since 2003, Kevin, James, the two college kids, like none of them have had any like demonic or any like presence or anything. Like they've just lived normal lives since then.
Thing is,
We need to go searching for it.
But yeah, since 2003, that box has been like waxed shut and everything. And
We need to track it down to what state it was in. I mean, not what county and all that it was in. And then we need to look for mystery boxes.
I say
So-
we interview that professor that was.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, boys, ladies, gentlemen,
Germans.
Irish, Scottish, all of y'all,
Oh yeah.
Aliens,
Extraterrestrials.
skeletons.
demons. I know that one motherfucking demon is watching us in that box right now.
demon.
He's listening.
That
He's tuning in.
skeleton's out there cracking jokes.
He's pissed off we
That
ain't featuring.
motherfucker.
He ain't get a shot.
Tag me in the comments.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about like a more less demonic,
More or less.
and it's more of like a fucked up case. I think it's like the police's fault
We'll determine that.
at the end.
We'll determine
But
that.
that's hot take on it right now. So
Okay.
where do I begin? There's this couple named Ryan, and I don't remember his girlfriend, but Ryan's the main dude of the story. And then Ryan's dad and the girlfriend were gonna go on a trip for Christmas. They were gonna go on a nice trip, and they didn't show up. Come present day.
Who didn't show up? The dad and
No, Ryan and his girlfriend.
To the dad's house.
Yes. And so the dad's like, yo, this is like planned, and they're not picking up. Like, I'm gonna send the police for a welfare check just to make sure everything's cool. So the police get there, Ryan opens it up, and then he has a black eye, fucked up face, and there's a girl laying in the back. The police could see, right? The police are like, yo, you good? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, bro, your eye is fucked up, something on your face, and there's a lady on your couch that looks hurt. What's going on? And he's like, saying, I don't know, what word am I looking for? Just clueless. He's just real clueless on what's going on. And he's like, I don't know. And then so they finally get in there. He just lets them in after talking senselessly. They go in and she's dead. Bullet hole in her head.
This one?
Yes.
Damn.
On the couch, dead.
Yeah, I guess.
And then, so they put him, lock his ass up because he looks sus as fuck, obviously. Yeah. My boy Ryan just killed this woman. And then it looks like it. And then so they get him in there, get him in the fucking, take her body. They get the crime scene set up, and they go back to the interrogation office.
One key detail that you're missing is that he was in the cop car waiting throughout the entire time they're cleaning. So he was in this cop car for like 6 hours. Damn. Waiting to go to the
And around 5, they got to the interrogation office, and an officer is named Dalton. And so he starts off real nice, and he's like, so like, what happened? You know, what's going on? And senselessly, he's just talking, I don't know. I really don't remember. And he just starts saying a little bit of information here and there, but then he goes back to, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And before Dalton even comes in, he's sitting there uncuffed. The table, there's handcuffs on the table, well, attached to the table. And he's just sitting there for a couple minutes, 6 minutes, and then he just handcuffs himself, right? And then out of nowhere, he just gets up, walks, it tugs him back, and he just goes and sits back down. Doesn't even try, and then
like an animal.
Yeah, like he like looks at it, and then he sits back down, and then he walked back and sat back down, and then he picked up a blank piece of paper and then looked at it, and then that's all on camera. Yeah, it was blank, and he was just sitting there reading that shit. He looked at the glasses. He was in that shit now. But and then now Dalton comes in a couple minutes later, and then now he starts asking questions. Like the questions I said, like, yo, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. And so now the cop's starting to get frustrated, right? He's like, you're talking to me senseless. And then now Ryan's feeling like pressured, obviously. Now the cop's starting to be more aggressive, and he's starting out to spit more key details. He's like, I don't know, Richie and his grandfather, I don't know. They had bows and arrows. And then Dalton's like, what are you talking about? Why the bows and arrows? There's a dead girl on your couch, Ryan.
The bullet hole in your head.
And he's like, no, they had revolvers. And then he's like, no, I mean, I don't know. Talks about Richie a little bit more, and then now Dalton's fucking pissed. And now, he's like, there's a dead girl on the couch that you killed. Ryan, what's going on? And then at that point, Ryan's just fucking out of it. And Dalton's like, wait, tell me more about it. And he's like, yeah, they came in the back, shot me. I was laying on the ground dead. He was like, you weren't shot. You would be dead right now. And Ryan was like, that's what I thought. And then he was like, but there's a dead girl. How do you not know she's dead? Did you call the police? He was like, no, I let her sleep. He was like, you let her sleep for 2 days? Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
I'm trying to help you out, bro.
And then at this point, Dalton's like, T takes a step back, thanks, and then he looks at Ryan's face, right? Turns it a little bit, turns it the other way, right? And then he's like, hold up, I'll be back. Because he actually had bullet holes through his nose. One was through this side of the nose into his eyeball, lodged in his brain. There was 4 exit wounds on his face. He got shot 3 times. One just went out somewhere. Do you remember the third one?
One was, I think 2 was in his, one was in his nose, one was in his nose, and one was in his left eye where he had the bruise. And then some other one. But
that knocked off a piece of skull.
Yeah.
I know, there was 6 pieces of skull that was lodged in the brain. It was bleeding. It was horrible.
Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. How would they not see that off rip?
Dude, because so at the end of it, he was like, it's all because the cops jumped to conclusions. They seen a dead girl on his couch. This man was beat up, so they automatically thought that they got into an altercation. She hit him, and he's still like starstruck that he just killed a woman.
Okay, because I remember you saying he had a fucked up face. But okay, that makes more sense. Like, okay,
and you and are you done?
No.
Okay.
So back to he discovered it, and he's like, oh shit, this man's a victim. And so Richie, he brought him up a couple of times. Richie and his grandfather were pissed off at him because they were in a duplex, 3 of them. Richie, the girlfriend, and Ryan. And Richie kept trying to get with the girlfriend. And Ryan was like, bro, that shit's not gonna work. Get out. So they kicked him out, and Richie was fucking pissed, obviously, because he came back with a revolver with his grandpa. And they crept into the backyard. Ryan was in the kitchen, and kitchens with like the big old sliding glass door into the backyard.
Yeah.
And he sees him creeping up, and he tries to close it, but both of them, they barely get it open. He sticks a revolver and shoots him 3 times, point blank in the face. Ryan.
That motherfucker lived.
Yes.
Bro,
yeah. And then the Richie goes up and just 1 shot to the head, kills the girlfriend. Then they take some shit back. And then Ryan, he gets up a couple hours later and bleeding, his skull bleeding in worst condition possible, bro. So how is this man alive? He has a bullet lodged in his brain with skull pieces in there. Yeah, and then he was like, just moseying throughout the house. He was literally walking cluelessly around the fucking house for 2 days, bleeding nonstop, watching his girlfriend, thinking she was sleeping because she was just on the couch, lifeless.
Yeah, you gotta think once those bullets enter
the brain don't work.
Yeah, bro. Your brain.
They had to take out 4 pieces of brain and both of his eyeballs.
Yeah.
To help him because it took 2 days and he was in the interrogation for like another 6 hours, something like that.
And in the cop car for like 6 hours as well. And they said as time progressed, the worse it got. So
he lived that. No eyeballs, missing a couple pieces of brain. He needed to live with his parents. And his parents, they were divorced previously. So he had to live with them. They were going to be his caretakers. And they didn't take good enough care, for him. And he died how many years later?
I don't even remember.
And I think it was it 03?
Something like that.
I think it was 03 too. Bro.
Good for you to be born, bro.
Yeah. For y'all.
It was in 03 he died because he had a seizure. Yeah, the seizure led up all because of his brain chip. All of the damages was from that seizure.
That brain damage that he ended up
developing.
Yeah, poor guy. He was 18 years old.
18 years old
when this all took place.
Our age.
He's our age. You're older than him. You're older than him when it happened to you. Imagine that shit happened to you last year. Just awful.
Damn.
So I'm going. It's my turn now, and I got my journal out because. So I got. Have you guys ever heard of like when forest rangers go out to a forest and they see scary shit?
Yeah.
No, I have not, but I get that makes sense.
And they quit their job,
especially a forest.
Yeah. So this is more of like a security guard in a way, like a cop
keeper.
Like not even a forest keeper. It's a building.
Park ranger.
A security guard.
It's not a security guard. It's like a
bodyguard.
He's a cop. Shut up. He's a cop. CSI.
Secret agent.
FBI.
He's a cop, and he mainly like
officer, captain, lieutenant.
He patrols like different buildings, and he today or the day of this what I'm speaking of in 2006, this guy named Dave Murphy, he was patrolling Capitol. Fuck off. He was patrolling Capitol City Theater with this guy named Morgan Matthews. They met August 1st. I'm giving you guys a timeline and everything.
What year?
2006. So it was 3 years after we were born. 4 years after you, in a way. So to describe the building, there's the first floor, and this is their control room. That's kind of like where they keep the cameras, awful cameras. They can't see at night. Their screens are like how you would imagine a control room.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I was literally about to say like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, basically.
Bro, I was thinking of this. Here, I was thinking of this the whole damn time.
But there's two of them. They do these things beginning and end of their shift called the rounds, where they control the buildings. There's 4 floors, including the basement. So basement, first, second, third. And they do their rounds. They go to the basement. Dave remembers saying or feeling that the basement was very big, massive ass basement. There was a grand piano in the middle of the basement. And as soon as you exit the elevator, only one elevator, you look to your left, massive hallway. Just the longest hallway you could fucking see with doors. Right? Same thing. So it's just that. And that's it. Just empty basement. And then they go to the first floor, second floor, third floor, so on and so forth. On the 9th of August, Dave goes on his first run on himself. He's making mental notes saying how Morgan, the other guy, was so cold and lifeless. Like he would just do his job. He wouldn't speak. He'd be like, be sure to do this, be sure to do that.
Oh, I was like, is this motherfucker dead?
No, he's just dead ass. Like he's cold in his heart. He does his first round by himself, and he remembers he's about to third floor. He's about to go into a room, and he turns on the lights and he looks through it, whatever, turns them off, and as he's about to leave, the bathroom door behind him slams. And he's like, damn. He registers that in. He goes, hey Matthews, look on the screens, I think we have an intruder. Keep that note, they only refer to what they see as intruder, nothing else. He goes, I think there's an intruder. Matthews checks the screen, nothing's on the screen. And then Dave approaches the door and he's like, well, if he's not on the screen, that means he's inside. And then he's like, okay. And then he's like, but that door can't shut. There's hydraulic little things on it. You know how like a door, like when you know how hydraulics are. Whenever you try to slam it, it slows it down, like a classroom door.
Yeah.
You know, that's the type of door
yeah.
I'm talking about, where it just it slows down as it.
Yeah,
so
like the air,
slam-proof.
compressed.
Yeah. And he's like, so how did it fucking slam? So he's like, so maybe there's someone inside.
That motherfucking
yeah, for real. And he's like, maybe there's someone inside. He draws his pistol and he goes inside. No one's inside, to his surprise.
Badass motherfucker.
Yeah, for real. But that's his job.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, and
Boy, I would have a fucking stock on that motherfucking thing on my hip.
Don't care.
But a stock on that motherfucker.
They end up going through the whole building because it's protocol.
That's their job.
Yeah, and as they're going to the first floor, Dave sees through the first floor window that the lights on the second floor are on. The one that they just left. The one that they.
What kind of building is this? It's like what's in the floor?
It's like a theater. It's like, so the first floor is just like kind of like a lobby. Second floor is offices. Third floor is offices. And the first floor there's a auditorium. There's a rehearsal room in the basement. This and that. There's a stage in the auditorium. It's like a theater, bro. It's a massive theater back then. So a lot of floors, this and that, kind of more modernized. I don't know.
Yeah. Gotcha.
On August 11th, Morgan is alone and think he hears whispering. He's alone in the control room.
So Morgan is the cold-hearted.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that's been like, I don't know. He's done this before. He's not new to what's going on.
I was gonna say he's a old head.
Yeah,
He a vet now.
and he's at the control room and he hears whispering to his right. And he gets up and he follows her. He goes to the hallway.
Number one.
And he goes, he says how they just kept on getting further. And as he walked, further they went. And then he reached the hallway where if he took a right, there'd be a stairwell. And then he heard more whispering from the stairwell. He walks towards the stairwell, and the whispering's gone. Now he hears coughing. Like someone's dying coughing. Like someone's suffocating coughing.
Yeah.
He goes downstairs, pistol drawn, and he goes down.
Someone's having a stroke.
Bro, for real. Bro, like he's on edge. Like, cause who wouldn't be?
Facts.
And nothing. He's downstairs, and he smells smoke. He smells smoke.
Ooh.
In the basement. He's in the basement right now. He smells smoke directly from the door right next to him. He goes in, nothing's on fire, and he searches the whole basement. Nothing's on fire, but his nose is stuffed with just the smell of something burning.
Yeah.
And whatever. He goes back, he locks everything up, he calls it a day. On September 4th, Dave walks into the building, kind of more towards the morning, or towards the night, like around 10. And he hears 3 guys talking that work at the building. One of the guys, or 3 of these guys, they're all 3 of them are talking about ghosts, specifically about that building. And there's this guy named Blair, and he said one day at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. while he was working, he heard an elevator engine start running, and the elevator, and he kind of peeked out of his office.
It doesn't work.
They don't have an elevator. He peeked out his office, and down the hall, the light on top of the elevator is going up to his floor. He's on the 3rd floor.
It's going up to his?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, okay. Well, wait.
Who's here?
No one. He's the only one. He's supposed to be the only one in that building. It's 10 p.m. Everyone's supposed to be out. And he's like, okay, maybe there's a maintenance. Maybe this is a scheduled thing that the elevator does. Elevator opens. No one comes out. He's staring at this elevator, and the elevator starts ringing off this alarm, like someone's in between the elevator holding it open. You know how alarms do that alarm going thing? And he goes up to the elevator to see what it is. Nothing's in the elevator. So he steps in, and then the doors close. He turns around, and he says that B was pressed already for basement. The elevator goes down. When the elevator stops at the basement, the doors open and he steps out. He said it took him the utmost courage to scream out, "Is anyone there?"
Well, yeah.
And he screamed, "Is anyone there?" He looked down the right, he looked down the left, nothing. He could barely even see the piano. Everything's off. And that's the story he told Dave that works there now.
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up. So back to what I was saying. So they end up inviting a friend of Dave's named Greg. Fucking Greg. And Gregory. And I don't know, they just wanted a third view that they weren't going insane.
Yeah.
They invite him as like a little tour around the theater, and as soon as they begin the tour, they go to the basement, start from the ground up. And in the basement, as soon as the elevator opens, they turn right, and the door at the very end of the right hallway is open. They all 3 go, and they reach for the door. Dave reaches for the doorknob, and it slams shut.
Imagine your homies invite you for a tour of something,
and that you get
And
that.
that's your
And they knew that shit was gonna happen too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just
Hey, bro, come back to this
they
dinner, bro.
set him up for failure, bro. And
Then Greg.
fuck, bro.
fake ass friends, bro.
And this happened September 15th, and so Greg, what am I trying to say? The door closes, the doorknob starts to just shake in a way, like vibrate, and it stops. They open to check out what's happening, and as soon as they enter, Greg immediately, both Dave and Matthews has their pistols drawn,
Yeah.
and they're just referring to him as an intruder.
Greg pissed himself right now, bro.
Yeah, bro. He nothing to protect him with.
Yeah, bro.
Intruder and them 2 pistols out. He's like, ah! He's screaming, bro. He pissing himself right now.
And as soon as they walk in, Greg immediately says, "There's someone in the corner." And as soon as Dave Matthew points their pistol, it's gone. Greg leaves.
Greg leaves?
Yeah, well after that encounter.
Oh, I was like, bro, Greg just said, fuck this, and like left by himself?
Well, afterward, yeah.
Okay.
And later that day, they were reviewing. I guess Dave was going out around, and Matthews was going through the cameras because on September 15th they got new cameras. These cameras were infrared. They can see through the dark. They can move everything. These cameras are high tech.
It's about time.
About fucking time, right?
Yeah.
He's pointing. I guess he's monitoring the camera that's pointed towards the auditorium, mainly the seats. And in front of the seats, there's kind of like this glass. Behind that, I don't know if it's like a glass, I don't know, like a doorway sort of. There's this guy in all red, and he's like, "What is that?"
He's signature.
Yeah, what is it? It's just all red. He thinks he sees someone. Then this thing turns, and he sees eyes. He sees hot spots that are eyes. This thing rises and just floats up. That day, that day, Matthew quits. Matthew says, "I don't want to work at this theater no more. I'm done."
Fuck yeah,
What is that?
Yeah.
Dude, Roger came back. Roger came back, picked that motherfucker up, and left.
Hey, God, me and Roger, we be out. You be passenger seat every time I be driving. Sometimes driver.
So Matthew quits. It's Dave's turn, right? What happened? What did you say?
I said,
That motherfucker Roger always been in my passenger seat. He said, sometimes he be driving.
Steering wheel just doing this
you
thing.
gonna see my car pass your house? Nobody.
Nobody in that bitch.
That shit taking left turn.
Something in it too.
But so next day it's Dave's turn. It's Dave's turn, and he's by himself.
Like, nobody's watching
No
cameras.
one's watching cameras, nothing. He's watching cameras, and he has to go on runs by himself.
So does he know what happened?
I mean, no, Morgan didn't want to tell him because it completely.
What a dick.
Why would you tell him?
Why wouldn't
Because
he tell
no
him?
matter what, he has to go in tomorrow.
Why?
Because
Why can't he also quit?
I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know. You sound crazy saying that. You sound nuts as
But
fuck.
they both experienced.
Yeah, but then again, they only refer to this thing as an intruder, not as a.
Bro. Hey, bro. So, I quit today. I seen the intruder levitate through our fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm sorry. Hit the neck up, bro.
Can we all just make like a fucking blood pact right now that if we ever say some like crazy ass shit like that, we gotta believe
Each other.
But it's gotta be true.
Yeah.
We can't bullshit each other about it. Like, it's gotta
Pinky
be
promise?
real. Pinky promise on
Okay.
that shit.
Pinky, come here. Yes.
I don't know, Violet.
Okay.
Alright. We're good.
About the gayest shit we've ever done.
Yeah,
So
but
Dave, he's
we
by
could.
himself. He hears a piano in the control room, The only piano there is in the entire building
It's in the basement.
is in the basement. He takes the elevator to the basement. The piano's still playing. He hears the piano. He's approaching the piano, and then it slams. The thing that holds the piano up, the guard of it. You know how like a piano has a
Yeah.
stick and then like a big ass thing? It slams.
That's probably loud as hell.
Yeah. And that night, Dave quit.
Good.
At least he didn't see the intruder.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe he did. Morgan probably did tell him. But Dave was just like, I see it to believe it. But that shit was like, okay, matter of fact, I don't need to see it to believe it. Just give me
I
a
wouldn't
piano,
need to see it to believe
and that
it.
is good.
If a motherfucker said that shit to me, I would have quit on sight.
Yeah. Story continues. 2 or 3 months later, Dave is in a patrol car patrolling the same area. The building is now under new security by a guy named Josh Thomas. Josh Thomas radios in for backup at that building, saying there's an intruder and he's by himself. Dave goes to the building, meets up with Josh in the back. They go through the building and, you know, nothing. The last stop was the auditorium. They go to the auditorium, and in the instant I'm talking about, Dave is back towards the seats. Josh is facing Dave, facing the seats.
Wait, so are they like covering each other's sixes?
No, face to face.
They're looking at
Josh
each
is looking at Dave, Dave is looking at Josh, but Dave's back is towards the audience, if there was an audience.
Yeah, to the chair. Seats.
To the chair, to the seats.
Got you.
And Josh says, there's something behind you. Over David's shoulder, there's this guy. And she's dead, obviously, but he's wearing a hood and he has patches as if he's just been burnt up to a crisp.
Burn victim.
And he looks at Josh. Well, I guess the intruder's back was towards Josh. And when Dave looked, the spirit kind of snapped at him, and the spirit ran out the back, supposedly. And they left. Josh quit. Dave left. That was the last time Dave ever returned to the building. And he did more research, and yeah, it's true that the building, the theater, it burned down in the 40s with like 14 people dying, and a guy was burnt alive. And that's what it is. That's the smoke that Morgan smelt. That's the
burn victim.
That's the burn victim that ran. I don't know. That's the cause of.
But what about the elevator?
I don't know.
Maybe they were trying to get out.
Maybe they were trying to get out. Maybe they all died in the basement. That's why the elevator couldn't take them.
That's crazy, bro. That's fucking crazy.
Damn.
Next segment.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know we were recording.
I didn't know we were recording, but it worked like a
Thank
great
you guys for joining us.
segue.
Yeah, follow us, Instagram, TikTok.
Immediately plugs, bro.
Hey, business.
Read the 22nd in Roman numerals on Spotify.
On Spotify.
His lifting account.
D-Hole Fit, D-Hole Training.
And us on TikTok too. What's our TikTok?
Official AJD Industries.
Same on Insta.
No, Insta is just AJD Industries. No, Instagram is official AJD Industries. TikTok is AJD Industries. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us for this spooky story.
For the spooky episodes.
We'll see
We
you guys soon.
have a special coming up.
Yeah. We will have a...
That's gonna be so much fun.
Okay, yeah.
With the pumpkin.
Do we want to give them a little bit of a...
No. You guys will see soon.
Just
enough.
get ready.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's not a podcast.
Yeah. It's
Or maybe it is.
It's something special.
Something special for sure.
Hey, let's go. Just balled on the game, gotta worry what the press about. And I'm getting money, and you mad what you press about. And I took a left, you went straight, I went the messy route. You was weaving bullets, left and right until they knock you out. You was hating all in high school, who's really laughing now? And I hit my mama.